that the 12-year-old himself should have say in the decision, and if the boy wants the operation, then the mother's motions will be denied. If the boy does not want to be circumcised, the father's continuing custody of his son will be analyzed by the courts. So this got me thinking. If the Supreme Court agrees that a 12-year-old should have a say in which parts of his body he chooses to hang on to, why are newborns robbed of this decision and ritualistically altered within hours of their birth? Automatic, non-medical circumcision is on the decline, but the topic remains one of the most controversial in pediatrics today. At this point, I had intended to describe the circumcision procedure done on most male babies in the United States and without anesthesia, but I've decided against it because one of you might throw up. Suffice to say, the description included the words penis, cut, bleeding, clamp, crushing, scalpel, and blunt probe. For Jews, circumcision is law, and was the first commandment given Abraham by God, that his foreskin be cut, and that all male children to follow should have their foreskins cut as a sign of their covenant with God. For everyone else, it is possibly the anachronistic result of the myth that a man would face future disease, injury, and locker room jokes if his penis were to lack customary trimming. 19th century physicians suggested that the child's penis produced itchy substances which encouraged masturbation. As they believed masturbation caused insanity, blindness, tuberculosis, and a litany of other diseases for which they could offer no other cure, these early physicians urged parents to employ aggressive hygiene. Boy babies began to be circumcised automatically in the U.S. as a measure against filth. But as time has gone on and circumcision clearly did not slow down the masturbatory habits of anyone, why is genital mutilation still a common practice in this country? When I ask men about the hypothetical futures of the genitals of their unborn male children, those who have been circumcised all seem to lean towards continuing non-medical cutting, because of a concept that the boy should resemble the father. And maybe he should, or maybe that's ridiculous. Like I said, I'd like you all to weigh in because I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to feel about foreskins. I do not have a penis. I'm Vanessa Cheatwood.
The amazing part is now it seems that maybe my theme song lyrics were actually kind of apropos. They kind of fit a little bit. What's up?
No, nothing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Are you gonna Keith? If you have a boy, hypothetical, you have a boy, are you gonna get him cut?
That's never going to happen.
That's why I said hypothetical.
Yeah, but it's hard to answer a hypothetical question.
Come on. Are you cut?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you wouldn't get your kid cut?
I don't know. I don't know if... I probably wouldn't.
If there isn't some sort of emotional struggle in your head as you think about it, as you don't know what the right or wrong thing to do here is, I've got to think there's something wrong with every one of you, if that's the case. Because... It's such a heavy, crazy thing to deal with. I don't like Vanessa says. I don't want to go to the whole thing of just like I want my son to look like me, because it's not like you're posing in pictures and dropping your drawers and showing how you look alike. It's not like that. It's a matter of in your family.
It's a matter of him looking like the porn movies he watches.
It's a matter of him being in a locker room and not looking like the other boys in the locker room.
Not just in a locker room, but in with other women,
with a girl
or.
But I think a lot less people are having it done to their kids now, so that it's going to be a lot less people that are circumcised as time goes on, so I don't think that's going to be so much of an issue.
Agreed. Oh, like I said, you got that.
I'm not so sure I agree with that. I don't think there are enough people not circumcising their children. It's still people. I don't know.
In the United States, currently, at this time, it's only about 60%.
Man, I thought you were going to say at this time. So
that's down dramatically from when we were children. It was everyone. But
I guess that is pretty
going down.
substantial.
I was so convinced that she was going to say at this time, and she was going to call out exactly how many little guys were getting snipped at this very moment.
At this point,
in the time that Best in Show's on the air, 14,000 children have lost their foreskin.
You know what it is too? I feel bad. I don't want my moil to have nothing to do. So
I thought she was just going to say it was the top 5%.
Now, did Vanessa say there's no health issues stemming from not getting it done, Vanessa?
There's really some very vague evidence that possibly there's a risk of infection or a risk of penile cancer, but the statistics on it are so it doesn't really outweigh the risk of having the procedure done. There's so much risk of infection when the circumcision is done that it doesn't. It's kind of like it balances out, and the pediatric community is kind of leaning towards, it being unnecessary. It's mostly just people not understanding how to be clean.
I was going to say
they're more susceptible.
It could be combated by soap, I think, is where most of the problems could be dealt with.
Exactly.
By the way, the funniest thing there is as soon as the word penile cancer came out, hearing Dennis go, "What?" Like he just discovered that it existed to me. It was awful.
Yeah. Deja in the chat room was also quite surprised to hear of that word.
I don't like that word. I think that there was a big lull in this room. Fred's face alone was, yeah.
That's been happening since Vanessa ran down the list of keywords. I think crushing was the one that did it in for me.
So, but I mean, if the kid is 12, right?
Oh,
I mean that's old.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have to do that at birth. You have to do it right
at birth because you don't remember it.
Traumatic.
You really don't. There's not. I mean, there's still nerves developing, I would think.
Well,
right?
there's also Go ahead, Vanessa.
Here's a good point. If you wouldn't do it when you were older, why do we do it to babies? I mean, if it's so horrifying that like the thought of doing it to a 12-year-old is just like, whoa, you can't do that. Like, then why do we do it to babies? And I mean, no anesthesia.
There's a backwards mentality about it, and there's backwards logic about it that children, when they're just born, aren't really that cognizant. So hey, welcome to the world. Let me do this for you. That's what's happening.
But we also
don't worry,
don't know
you'll feel
if
better.
that has any effect. We'll never know if that has any effect, long-term mental effect.
I'm sure it does. Like
yeah, I gotta say, I wouldn't do it. I officially wouldn't do it.
If there's no more circumcisions,
I want mine back. Actually,
where am I going to get my facial cream? Where am I going to get my expensive facial cream from? I need that.
What are you talking about?
Well, there's like a facial cream that costs like $100 like per ounce. That's made from foreskins of peniles. And
so that's what happens to them?
I don't know what he's talking about, but I think he's having some real delusions.
This is definitely not something in the United States that this comes from. This is like a product of Madagascar or something crazy. Nothing against Madagascar. I'm just arbitrarily picking out a country that
just lost
that
like
isn't
14
America.
listeners.
Fred's trying to circumcise his pants right now. No one can see it, but he's...
That's Dr. Fred, our fact checker.
No, everyone's here is snipped, right? Bro, you snipped?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm circumcised.
Bro, I don't believe it.
You want me to prove it?
Yep.
Pal?
You got to prove it.
You know what seems dangerous? Not to knock anybody's religion, but is the Moyle like a doctor, or is he just like a priest?
He's a rabbi.
He's a rabbi. Yeah, that seems like
a Jewish priest.
Which
I don't think the word priest is
as we just take every religion and lump it into the one we've been taught since we were children.
I have to say, I think the origin of the word priest must predate Christianity.
Deja in the chat room says he's a cutter.
Priest is defined as some dude.
He's got a
like some dude.
He's a priest with scissors.
No, a dude that went to school to learn about God.
He knows about God. All right, there's a significant draw. We lose nerve endings that are severed for life, and as a result, we lose sensitivity in our penises as a result of being circumcised. Is that not true, Vanessa?
That is true, and that's the other part of the debate that male circumcision was really started as something to try to control behavior in men by limiting their sexual response.
Can I bring
if
up a
that's
question
the case, then this is like a truly barbaric thing that's been passed down forever.
And pointless.
Can I just bring up an
I don't
interesting...
think it's worked.
Literally.
I have a question about that, though. How do we know that you're actually getting the... How do I put this? How do you know that there's a difference in sensitivity from a person that's been snipped, that's not been snipped? Because it's not like the person could be half snipped and they feel it on one side and don't on the other. It's like you're basing it on, well, the nerves aren't there, so you shouldn't be able to feel
They would have to have it done as an adult and then tell you the
They
difference.
did a touch test.
They're people who are done as adults before and after.
Sorry.
No, they did a touch test of measuring the sensation in people who were and weren't, and
nice.
And just recording the difference.
But how would you not know that person maybe would have been less sensitive with or without it? Because it's basing on a person-by-person basis.
See, I know the difference now between the priest and the Moyle. The Moyle does the cutting. The priest offers the touch test.
But so everyone here is going to get their child cut. Is that what they're saying? Keith, you're not going to get your kid cut?
If I have one, I will.
You will get a cut, Chris.
I certainly probably will not.
Really? I'm
certainly
getting my kid.
probably
Oh no! Wait a second. I meant I won't. I'm sorry.
You're not? Why? Really?
I just forgot I made an official declaration and then I wasn't paying attention to you.
I'm going to get trimmed. I'm not going to get cut full.